Some of you guys are gonna be like, what the hell? That does not look like it's made for breast. So. Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. Today I wanted to go over like what I consider postpartum must-haves, and I'm also gonna kind of go over like what I feel like is nice to have but not necessary, and then things that I literally didn't use at all. The one thing I really want to preface though is postpartum is different for literally every single person. It's so different, and I was very blessed and lucky in the fact that I had it pretty easy because my labor was really quick and easy. I didn't tear or have any stitches or anything like that, so I am one of the lucky ones. But I know that it's a lot harder for some people, so I'm kind of just going off of my personal experience from the 2 babies that I do have. And I am going to kind of talk about, like, I didn't have a lot of this stuff with my first baby. I didn't feel like it was necessary, and so I just didn't get it. Whereas this time around, I actually had friends get me a lot of this stuff, and so I was like, you know what, might as well try it out. So I want to kind of like go over all of that. So the hospital actually gives you literally pretty much everything that like you actually need. They'll give to you in the hospital, and if they don't give it to you and you hear me talk about it, you can 100% ask for it, because a lot of times they do have it and they just haven't given it to you because they didn't think you need it or whatever. But I want to kind of go over all of that. So the number one thing that you see literally everywhere is the Freedom Mom Kit, which is this right here. I feel like it would be a lot more useful for someone who had a harder recovery. However, you can see like I didn't use any of these ice packs because by the time that I got home and I was out of the hospital, so the hospital gives you some ice packs too. I actually took these just in case if I did need them, but my swelling was pretty much completely down by the time I got back home with this pregnancy. However, with my first pregnancy, I was a lot more swollen for a lot longer, and I actually didn't have these. So I ended up just making some. So that is another option. If you don't want to buy the Freedom Mama Kit, 100% it's not necessary. It is not necessary, but it is nice to have. That's my personal opinion. But with my first baby, I didn't have this whole kit, and I was swollen for a lot longer, and so I decided to just like get pads, put water on them, and put them in the freezer, and that worked great too. The only thing is they like de-thawed, so it got really wet once they like thawed out. But those totally worked as well, so that's an option. Or these are super nice to have, but you pretty much just break it, shake it, and then it gets cold, and you can just set in your mesh panties or your diaper, or even just like your regular underwear. Just set it in there, and it helps with swelling. The next thing that I want to talk about is like the Tux Pads and stuff. So they do give these to you in the hospital. My hospital actually gave me like hemorrhoid cream and hysterin cream. I don't know. All these creams and Tux Pads and all this stuff. I didn't even open these because I did not have hemorrhoids. But if you're in the hospital and that's something you're struggling with, 100% ask, because I know like 90% of hospitals do have them. So that's nice. The Tux Pads I did use, it's just like witch hazel, and you just like take them out, place them on your pad, and then pull your like pad or underwear or diaper or whatever you're wearing, pull it up, and it just like helps. It's like a cooling effect too. It feels really nice. However, the Freedom Mom Kit, so if you do get the Freedom Mom Kit, has this foam, and I actually liked this a lot better than the Tux Pads. And all you do is like spray the foam in your underwear, and it just, something about it just like feels so relieving after having a baby, like the foam. I just really liked it, but I know that some people don't like that feeling, so this is a good option too. Just whatever's easiest for you. And then the Freedom Mom Kit also comes with these wipes. I didn't even open mine. They're just pad liners that have like witch hazel on them, so you can like pull a wipe out and set it on your underwear or your pad or whatever you're wearing once again, and it's like a cooling effect, and it feels good and helps with the healing process after a baby. But completely unnecessary. Like I said, all of that stuff like that's in the Freedom Mom Kit, there's like dupes, you know. You can get the Freedom Mom Kit and it's useful and handy or whatever, but you can also just choose to use the stuff the hospital gives you and all of that. The last thing that I want to talk about that's in the free mom kit that literally everyone talks about, and you can actually buy this like separate, you don't have to buy the whole kit if you just want this. This was handy, I will say. So with my first baby, I did not have this. I just used the parent, the bottle that they give you in the hospital. And I brought that home with me because they let you take it home. And that's just what I used the entire time I got home too. And it worked perfectly well. And the entire time I was in the hospital, I actually brought this with me to the hospital. And the entire time I was in the hospital, I was too lazy to get this out of my bag. And so I just used it in hospital too. For the last 2 weeks since I've been home, I've been using this. And it's really nice. But it's unnecessary, once again. So, useful, handy, nice, yes. Necessary, no. So if you want to save yourself 15 bucks or however much this thing costs, you know, it's personal choice. I feel like I got a better spray, or like hit it better with this thing, but the other one worked too, so. And then, that's pretty much it for this little kit situation. This is something that I bought with my first baby and with my second, and I really like this stuff. It's the Earth Mama Herbal Spray, and it just says like take care down there. But I really like this spray. I actually still use it sometimes. I'm pretty much completely healed and like not having any bleeding or anything. Still a little bit, but, and I'm 2.5 weeks postpartum, if you're wondering. So I do really like this stuff. It just feels really nice after having a baby and after peeing, after doing all of that. It just feels really nice to spray this down there. So I still really love this stuff, but it's not necessary. It just feels nice. I will say with my first, I was expecting way more bleeding than what I had. However, I know that some women do have way more bleeding than what I had. So it kind of just depends on who you are. So I just want to say, make sure that you have lots of different pad sizes. So the Always Depends diapers, I personally love these. Swear by them. Some people didn't like them, didn't use them, and prefer the mesh underwear. But I really like these. And I use them with both my kids. I only use them when I was in the hospital. So after I used the mesh underwear and the humongous pads in the hospital first, then I switched over to the Always Depends diapers. And I used those probably for 2 days after that. So I didn't use them a ton, and then I was done with them. Like, I didn't need them because my bleeding went down so much. But they are so handy. I personally really like them. I just thought they were handy. It was nice to just rip it off and throw it away when I was done with it. Didn't have to worry about anything. So I recommend the diapers. And then, like I said, lots of different size pads. So I was in like heavier nighttime pads for a few days, and then it went down to just like normal pads like you would use on the last couple days of your period. I used those for probably like a week. And then right now I'm just in panty liners because I just randomly will have a little tiny bit of bleeding here and there, but not a lot. So my bleeding only lasts for 2.5 weeks. I know that some people's last for 4 weeks. I've heard of people that have theirs like super bad for 6 weeks. So 100% just depends on the person. But just make sure that you are like prepared for all of it, because the last thing you want to do when you get home is have to run to the store and buy a bunch of pads. So just get a bunch of different sizes. You're going to use them regardless if you use them postpartum or like when you get your period back. So that's like the whole down there care situation. I want to talk about nursing now, because that is something postpartum that like it's not everyone nurses, but for me, I like really wanted to nurse, especially with the formula shortage situation going on right now. And I nursed my first baby, so I was like, I know I could do it. It's different for everyone, but if you're choosing to nurse, these are some things that have like helped me, and I wanted to share them with you. As far as nursing goes, I personally struggled a ton with both my kids, and it wasn't as bad this time, but my first, I had like cracked bleeding nipples before I even left the hospital because it was so bad. But it just takes my nipples probably like 5 to 7 days to adjust to breastfeeding, and once they've adjusted, it's completely fine. So just now, like if you're going through that, push through it, because it will get better. It did with both my kids, so hopefully it does for you too. I'm gonna move this in a little closer. So I 100% recommend when you're in the hospital, ask them for nipple cream or like nipple butter, like they usually have that in the hospital, so take advantage. I'm no longer using it. I literally only needed it for like the first week, but I recommend like just get out of the hospital. I didn't even have to buy any. I do actually have some that I did buy. I really like the Earth Mama nipple butter, but they usually have I don't know how to say it, like lanol or whatever in the hospital, and you can use that too, but or lanolin I think is what it's called. But you can ask for some in the hospital and they'll give it to you, and you just rub it on your nipples, and it helps with like the dry, cracking, bleeding situation and push through it. But I recommend having a nipple butter. The next thing I want to talk about is the Haakaa. This Haakaa is the one I recommend. It has a base, it has a lid, and it is so much better than the other one. The other one doesn't have this base part, and it's also not as big. And for me personally, I leak a ton. I know that some people only leak a little, some people don't leak at all, which blows my mind. I leak a ton, and so I can get like 3 ounces in this from nursing on one side and then hooking this to the other side. I'll still get like 3 ounces, and my baby's only 2 weeks old. So I recommend that everyone have one of these. Like, it's the best thing. I had one, but I didn't really know how to use it with my first baby, and so I didn't start using it until she was like 6 or 7 months, and I deeply regret doing that. So glad that I started right off the bat with it this time. But it's nice to have the one that has the base on it and the cover, because then you, like, if you're nursing or whatever, it's so much nicer to just be able to pop it off, set it down, take care of the baby, like burp her, put my like thing back on without having to worry about this tipping over, because the other one doesn't have this like solid base. So it would tip over, or it'd pop off and like leak, like go all over the place. So I really like this one. Found it on Amazon. I'll link it below for you guys, but literally just like put in Haakaa with base on Amazon and you'll find it. But I feel like I already have a really good supply like in my freezer just from using the Haakaa. The other thing that goes along with that is a hand pump. If you're nursing, it's a 24/7 job. Like, it doesn't ever stop. But if your baby ever sleeps through the night, you're gonna wake up so engorged. So this is helpful for that. If you ever like leave to go get your hair done, or like if you leave the house or leave your baby for longer than like 2 hours, you're gonna start to feel engorged and you're gonna want to relieve yourself, and a hand pump is the easiest way to do that if you're just out and about. You just do it really quick, get it over with, and then, you know, it's harder when you have like an actual pump. It's more annoying to like go through all the steps to like hook yourself up to the pump, start pumping, go through the pumping mode. You know, I don't really know how to explain it, but I'm just saying hand pump. They're on Amazon, they're not overly expensive, and they're very handy. Still in the nursing category, I don't know if I had a clogged milk duct, or if my boobs were just like sore and trying to get used to breastfeeding again and like having them fill up with milk again. My friend got me the Mom Breastfeeding Kit, which I personally found so useful. I didn't have it with my first baby, but I also didn't have any problems. I never got mastitis, I never got clogged milk ducts. The only problem I had with breastfeeding my first time around was in the very beginning, the cracked nipples, but that went away and then it was completely fine after that. So this is the Mom Breastfeeding Kit. I don't have like the actual box, but it comes in a cute little box like all their other stuff. And it came with these 2 masks. So one of them is for lactation, and then the other one is for hydration. But I haven't used them yet. I don't really feel like I've needed them, but it's an option. Might as well use it since it's in there. But it does come with these, which you're probably like, what the heck are those? You can see on this one, so I only used one. You can see how it's already like hard and stuff. There's a little metal disc in there. You break it and then it goes through and it hardens like this. So it starts like this, just like clear, and then it hardens and gets really warm. Not warm to where it's gonna burn your skin or anything, but just like warm to where it's gonna like help. And then they have little ones too, which I didn't realize at first, but you could, like, if you just have it in one little spot like I did, you could probably just use a little one and put it on there. But the nice thing about this, because at first I was like, then you can only use it once. As soon as you crack the little thing, it's done. That's not the case. They give you this mesh bag, and they say when you're done, you put it in the mesh bag and put it in boiling water, and it will warm back up so that you can reuse them, which I'm like, genius. So that's been really helpful so far. So what I did when I had a clogged milk duct, or what I think was a clogged milk duct, was I put that on there for like 5-10 minutes, warmed the area, and then it also comes with this thing, which some of you guys are gonna be like, what the hell? That does not look like it's made for breast. So it's this thing. When you turn it on, you just click and hold. It literally vibrates. So when I first saw it, I was like, what the hell? I was like, did my friend get me a sex toy? Because I had a friend purchase this for me for my baby shower as well. And no, it vibrates and it warms. And so you use it and like put it on your like whatever area is sore, and it'll warm the area and it will kind of help like relieve it, I guess. I don't really know how to explain it, but it comes with like a little instruction manual and shows you all the different ways you can use it, because you can use the ring side as well and like help like get it out. I don't know how to explain it super well, but this thing I really liked it whenever I used it. And so it just comes with this cute little bag and then a little charger, and it's handy for situations like that. That way it doesn't like build up into something worse where you can't feed at all. So as far as breastfeeding goes, that little kit so far has been so handy. When she first got it from me, I was like, I'm not gonna need this, because with my first baby I didn't have any of these problems, but I'm 2.5 weeks in and already have needed it. So recommend that if you're planning on breastfeeding. The other thing is these little Soothy cooling gel pads. These feel really nice if you have like the cracked nipples, if your boobs are just, or if your nipples are just sore, so you can use these for that. Not necessary, but once again, nice to have. And then the last thing that I feel like is completely necessary, at least it is for me, because like I said, I leak like a mofo, is the nursing pads. Now, I use the disposable ones. I also have a few reusable ones. So whichever preference you want to go, obviously the reusable ones are better for the environment, all of that. But, and they could be cheaper too, in the long run. But get nursing pads, because you're gonna have milk everywhere. At least in my experience, I always have milk literally everywhere. And so if you have the reusable ones, you just put them in your pad, or put them in your bra, and then when you're done, you can just take them out and throw them in the washing machine. These ones are nice too, because when they fill up, you just take it out, throw it away. So I recommend having both, because if you're out and about, you're gonna want these. But if you're home all the time, then the reusable ones are super nice. Like especially overnight, you can just take them out and throw them in the laundry the next morning and you're good to go. The other thing that I wanted to talk about is nursing friendly clothes. So postpartum, if you're like me, you literally just live in these two-piece sets. So I'm wearing this one right now. It's just like a shirt, and then it has matching shorts. I don't know if you guys can see, but it has matching shorts. I found this at Marshall's. Marshall's, TJ Maxx, and Ross all have super cute button-up pajama like type sets, but anything that buttons up is just so nice. It's not 100% necessary though. So I remember with my first baby, I was like, I need to buy a bunch of nursing friendly clothes. You don't. They're nice to have, especially in the beginning when you're breastfeeding every 2 to 3 hours, but you can also just pull your shirt up and then feed your baby that way, which I don't know why I thought that, like I didn't think about that, but yeah, you can just pull it up. It's just like when you're in public, it's nicer to have like something that buttons down so that you can just pop your baby on and your stomach's still covered, but you can always use a nursing cover too if you don't want your stomach exposed. Personal preference though, it's completely up to you, but these sets are so nice to have that like button up, especially for just like lounging around the house after you get home from the hospital. The other one that I really love is this one, which I think like literally everyone has talked about, but it's so soft. Same with this one though. The one that I got from Marshall's, so soft. So this one's from Target. It's the Stars and Above brand, and it just like is a dress or like a nightgown, but it's longer, so it kind of like covers your bum. And it's so soft and it buttons up, so it's just nice to have nursing friendly clothes if you don't want to just walk around in a bra and shorts all day, which I do that too. Sometimes I'll literally just wear a bra all day. As far as nursing bras, my favorite ones are the Autumn ones from Target. These are also from Target. These ones are just the most comfortable to me. They have like no support, so when you're breastfeeding, your boobs get humongous. And as far as support goes, these are not super supportive, but they hold the girls in and together, so it's good enough for me. but the clasps on them I really like. So if you don't know, when you're nursing, you just, like most nursing friendly clothes, just have these little clasps. They have some that just pull down too, but the clasp, I really like the clasps. So the Auden ones are great if you're looking for like a comfortable option. The other ones that I wanted to mention are the Auden nursing tank tops. These are also great. I'll just throw like a cardigan over it or a cute jacket over it and go out and about with my day, and then I can like just unzip or unbutton my jacket and my stomach is still like fully covered in all of that with these. So those are another good option for nursing friendly. And yeah, that's as far as breastfeeding, postpartum breastfeeding goes. Those are like my recommendations and my thoughts on all of that. And then the last thing that I wanted to talk about is these After Ease Wish Garden drops. This is like an herbal supplement. I swear by it. I used it for both my babies and I really liked it. I didn't have super bad cramping. Like, yes, the contractions sucked and the cramping hurt, but not like I was expecting it to be so bad, especially with my second baby, because everyone says it's worse with your second, which it was. But I use these, so anytime that I would nurse, nursing is kind of what triggers it. So you start nursing and that's when you start to feel the contractions. So I would just take a couple syringes of this, put it in my water and drink it, and it just, for me personally, I feel like it really helped a lot. But you can find these on Amazon, and it's just like an herbal supplement that you put in your water, and it's supposed to help with the after birth contractions when your uterus is trying to shrink back down. And then the last thing that I just want to mention is having a little basket or something like that to have all your stuff in. So I keep like my Haka in there, I keep a bottle of water in there, I keep snacks in there, I keep my nursing pads in there, I keep a burp rag for the baby in there. And like usually after you get out of the hospital, they'll prescribe you like a stool softener, and this is just ibuprofen, but like doctor prescribed ibuprofen. And so I keep those also in there, and that you're gonna want when you're like up in the middle of the night nursing. Just throw it into like a cute little basket like this, set it next to your chair or next to your bed or wherever you're nursing. That way you just have everything there, accessible, easy. If you guys want to see like my full setup for when I'm nursing and like my night routine and all of that, I have a video of a full night with a newborn. That's like the last video that I uploaded, so you guys can go watch that if you're curious on how I do things my way with a newborn. But that's it for this video. I hope it helped and gave you guys some insight on what you're gonna need after, what's nice to have after, and what's useless after. Which I wouldn't say that there's anything that's useless. Like, I didn't use some of this stuff, but I don't like the hemorrhoid creams and stuff. I never use that. But if you have that struggle, then you're gonna 100% want that. So anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed. Thank you so much for watching. If you did, don't forget to click the like button, subscribe to my channel to see more of my videos, and I will see you in the next one.